Hi, Jean.
I,
Morning.
I don't want to be on here. Hate that when that happens.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
Let's see how many people we get today for artificial intelligence in real estate.
AI. It's a fun one.
I actually I saw something, you know, Gary V, I don't know if you were at the convention a long, long time ago. I saw Gary for the first time in Vegas. I don't know if you remember this. We were at our previous company's convention, and right before him, Joe Theismann was the speaker.
No, I don't think I was there.
So it was funny. He comes on stage and he's like super young. He comes out on with like a cut off like flannel shirt on stage in front of like, I don't know, 8,000 people. And he goes, all right. He goes, how many of you knew who Joe Theismann was? And like, pretty much everybody raised their hands. And then he goes, how many of you know who I am? And he's like, I think like 10 people raised their hand out of like 9,000 or something. And he was like, ouch, that hurts the ego.
Hmm.
But but the thing is, what he was talking about back then, and I want to say this is probably 10 years ago, if not more, a lot of the stuff he was talking about social media and like where it was heading actually happened. And the reason I'm even bringing this up right now, and I'll see if I can find it, but I just saw one of his videos the other day, and he was talking about AI. And he basically said, you know, if you're not, you know, basically training yourself now, to utilize AI for your business for the future, it's basically going to be the same thing back then when you did not want to use Facebook or Instagram or other platforms that basically, if you didn't use it, it was gonna pass you by, basically. And eventually people started catching on, and eventually people were like, oh, this thing's sticking around, and I better figure something out or start using it or, get a
Yeah.
company to help me. But it was just really interesting, how he was even talking about that in any aspect, no matter what business that you're in. That's so I just found that interesting.
Did you grow up on the Jetsons? Am
I
I dating
did.
myself?
No, you're not
I'm a
dating
little
yourself.
bit, I'm a little bit freaked out sometimes when I feel like the Jetsons are getting closer and closer to a potential reality
They
than
are.
than
They
we
are.
ever could have imagined, right? Yeah.
No, I
Yeah.
mean, I think eventually we're all gonna have what was her name? Rosie?
Yes.
We're all gonna have Rosies. Um, didn't his car come out of his briefcase?
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if we're gonna
I
get
can
to
I
that
can picture
point.
the song in my head, like his boy Elroy and all that stuff.
Yeah,
Yes.
daughter, Judy.
Yeah,
I would like to push a button and have a hot meal ready for dinner. That would
yeah.
be something I would take in a heartbeat.
Wait, now
So
think about too how he was communicating with Mr. Spacely,
Hey
right?
guys,
you
Hey.
remember all those. Hey,
I call
Julian.
I call my shark Rosie. That's what she's
Ah,
called. Yes, she's
that's
our
hilarious.
Rosie. So we're like, "Where's
That's
Rosie?"
wonderful.
And everybody calls her Rosie in the house.
Deanna,
That's funny.
Deanna, if you want to kick it off, I just need 90 seconds.
Yeah, sure thing. Good morning, Christian. Good morning, everybody.
Morning, guys.
So, what we thought we would do today, it kind of came up last week, and I've been doing some other things with business planning, and it came up there. So we just wanted to throw out some ideas of how you might be leveraging AI in your business in out of the box ways. The thing here is that AI can be not only a huge time saver in helping you do things that you never even maybe thought AI could lend a hand in, but it's also a huge brain saver too, because sometimes when you're sitting there trying to strategize, trying to plan, and trying to build out whether it's a new process, whether it's an email campaign, you name it, you can sit there and stare at the blank page for so long, just trying to get the thoughts flowing, and AI can step right in and do that for you. So we wanted to show some out of the box examples, not typical examples today, but having some fun with it. Because if nothing else, you should go back and try your AI platform of choice and test it a little bit and have some fun with it. I'll tell you, for me personally, I have gotten very comfortable with ChatGPT, and I'll pay the $20 a month to do the expanded version because I get so much benefit out of it. It's probably some of the most well spent, $20 that I see go out the door every month because I get so much in return. I get so much guidance and, like I said, all that time and brain power back in my business.
And
As we get
anybody here
started
use it
today,
now?
oh yeah,
Anybody
yeah, I'm
use it? I don't
curious.
mean
That's a
to
great
interrupt you.
question.
yeah,
No.
can you guys just drop into the chat whether yes or no if you're using whether it's ChatGPT, which is the most popular, or anything else. If you're using something else, can you drop it into the chat? Let us know, just so we can get an idea of who's doing what. And Deanna, I also would love to know. I'm gonna actually give you the screen sharing right now,
Oh, perfect.
which you should have right now. And as we get into it, Deanna, I also would love to know like some of the differences. Well, not differences, but why should somebody pay $20 a month, or like what are they, what extras are they getting, with the premium version? That's basically, yeah.
That's a great question. So what I'll say first is when you're leveraging an AI platform, there aren't rules, but these are the recommendations that I would say make sure that you are considering when you get started. First of all, like I mentioned at the top, don't be afraid to think creatively. Don't just go to ChatGPT for the vanilla stuff. Go for the difficult stuff, for the complicated stuff, and you'll be impressed by how in 60 seconds this type of technology can really sort of explode the issue, give you creative ideas in ways that you weren't even thinking about. So don't just stick to the vanilla or the obvious. Prompts are key, and you're going to see that maybe hopefully a little bit today in our examples. The better and more specific and detailed you can be in your prompt, the more specific and sort of on target your results are likely to be. So again, pay attention to how we structure our prompts in our examples today. And don't just stop at step one. So if you go into ChatGPT with a new prompt and you get a set of results, don't just stop there. You can keep going. You could say, yeah, that was good. But you can do better. Give me 5 more examples. Give me 10 more examples, or expand on this, or I don't understand this. Give me more information. You can almost make it conversational. And so you'll see that today. In terms of why I pay the $20, so the standard free version gives you access that isn't quite up to date. And don't quote me because the time frames continue to change. But the free version of ChatGPT, I think, stops searching the internet for results going back maybe 2 or 3 years, where the 4.0 version is more current. That's the first thing. And then the second thing is that there's a whole other level of plugins, which I've done some training on in the past. I'm not going to specifically address the plugins today, but there's all these sort of like boosters that you can add to ChatGPT that you can only do if you pay for the version. One example I can give you is you can take like a 35, 40 page PDF of market data in your community. You can upload it into a PDF plugin for ChatGPT, and you could tell it to spit out a summary of the most important points about that report, and also even give you a whole marketing campaign, an email campaign, or email message around that data. So,
Dana, I'm sorry, real quick
yeah.
question.
Mhm.
I saw something that there's like a ChatGPT for real estate agents. In other words, like there's an option that I saw a video on it, but then when I went into mine, and right now I don't pay for the premium version, but in the premium, is there somewhere where you can select like profession, select realtor?
One thing that I know generally is that the more you can put into your profile to explain yourself, explain your background, and even give some writing styles, because ChatGPT is so sort of intelligent that it wants to deliver results in ways that sound like you, so that if you just did a copy and paste, people wouldn't feel like, oh, that's not Deanna
Yeah, it
anymore,
uses
or
like
that's a
big
chatbot.
words, right?
Yeah.
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 Sometimes I'll tell ChatGPT, please write this, but using simple verbiage, right?
Yeah.
Because
Mhm.
sometimes the verbiage, I'm like, what the hell does that even mean? Like,
You know,
there's no way that's
that
coming
is
from me.
so funny. I've actually written before. Can you rewrite this so a fifth grader understands this?
Right. Right. So I just put simple version and it kind of dumbs it down a bit, but it's more and sometimes it could be not you, like you might write like that, but your audience might not understand it that way. Right. So it could be the flip version of that. You might just want to have it write in simple verbiage just because whoever your audience is reading it, it kind of everybody can understand it. You know what I mean? Or relate to it. When you start putting all these big fancy words in, it sometimes kind of confuses people. It's a little bit too elaborate and it doesn't need to be, you know?
And you know what's funny? Like when you're
Absolutely.
looking at some MLS descriptions, you know that somebody used ChatGPT and they did not revise it. They literally just copied and pasted into the MLS description, and you're like,
Yeah.
we know you didn't write this, but
Right.
even more, you didn't even look at it to even try to edit it. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Totally. Totally.
Well, I'll tell you, for those of you who want to explore ChatGPT, I am not using a specific version for real estate agents, but you will see in the prompts that I give into the platform, I am identifying myself as a real estate agent because I want to make sure my results have that context. So let's kick it off. We have 5 different examples. I'm probably going to start on the verge of obvious, right? Because like you guys just said, most agents now are leveraging ChatGPT to at least give some polish to your MLS descriptions, which is great for those agents who limited it to 1 or 2 sentences, and they often weren't even complete sentences. So we all get the benefit of that. But what if you took it one step further? So here's my first prompt. How do you take that property description and turn it into a story? Tell a story about the property that you can either leverage in additional print marketing or social media marketing, or even create a video script that tells a story about the property. So here, being very specific in my prompt, I said that I was an agent, I had a listing in a certain town, and I'm going to copy and paste my MLS description into the prompt and say, I want you to give me a narrative that takes this property description and tells the story of how wonderful the town is, how great it is for families, that it has a lot of sort of community activity. Go. And literally in less than 60 seconds, I had a revision, and you'll see it's, 5 paragraphs maybe. I had a revision that specifically took that MLS description and turned it into something that I think would be perfect to do a video tour. So I could go around and take footage of the property. I could come back and sit down in a video platform. And there's several out there that you can use that are free or low cost, and do an audio overlay, just reading this into my phone and putting it together with the video footage that I took of the house, and push it out onto all my social media channels, or send it out in email, or blast it out to other agents. There's so many things that you can do. Point is, think of how much time it would have taken for me to take that MLS description and turn it into something like this to get my script. Have you guys done anything like this?
Oh yeah, I have. I use ChatGPT all the time. I mean, we might be. I'm not sure who uses it on here or not, but you can actually, like, this might be 5 paragraphs. You can actually now take that and just say, please simplify this and write it in 2 paragraphs, right? And it'll just condense that and write it in 2 paragraphs. I use this for sometimes for emails. I use it for everything. I don't know. It's really crazy. I use it definitely for writing the house descriptions. You just put in the generic information and of what you want it to say, and it does it. So there's so many different things that you could use this for. Writing a business plan. Like if you wanted to put in there, what are the top 10 things a new real estate agent should do to get their business going for 2025? It's going to spit it out for you, right?
Mhm.
Maybe Deanna, you could do it and just see. I don't know if you could do it
Yeah.
on there.
I'm going to show you an example of how I did exactly that
Yeah.
for business planning.
Right.
Absolutely.
And so, and it's not that you have to use all this stuff, but it definitely, it gives you such a good idea on what you should be doing or what, and you can revise it and redo it and whatever, but everybody should be using it. It's just really, it's awesome.
That's absolutely the point. Like you said, take this from 5 paragraphs to 2. Or on the flip side, you didn't tell me enough about the community, add another paragraph or add another 50 or 100 words and now specifically incorporate this, and this about the community.
Right.
So it'll mold to what you tell it you need, which I think is super cool. So that's one way. Definitely taking advantage of going beyond just polishing what you put on the MLS. But now, how do you expand even further for your other marketing channels when you have a new listing or you're trying to market your own services?
Yeah.
Another way you just touched on, Christian, was business planning. If you've been hopping in on Fridays to our business planning workshop, you know I'm a huge fan of a particular model of business planning called 135. And so on Friday, we actually took and created a prompt that said, I'm a real estate agent using this model, the 135 model. I want you to come up with a business plan, XYZ. And in 60 seconds, I had it. Today, I wanted to show you, let's take a different example. Let's say that here's my prompt in 2024, and this is just random. I just came up with something. 95% of my real estate business. So I'm identifying myself as an agent, but my real estate business came from personal referrals. I want to diversify so that at least 30% of my closed business comes from other sources. Now I'm giving the instruction, given the context. Now the instruction is create a strategy that plans for activities in the last quarter of this year and early next year to help me achieve this goal. I also want to join a business networking group, so factor this into the plan as well as a way to diversify. So remember what we said at the beginning, quality prompts will deliver quality results. And so 60 seconds or less, here we go. And not only do we have a plan that specifically addresses diversifying sources of business, but it has outlined it in time frame order. And it has it's identified the goal, identified the action plan, and then given you the very specific actionable items that you should be building into your calendar. So a very powerful tool for business planning, especially if you feel like sometimes you're run by chaos rather than order or organization. This can be a really, really great tool that you should absolutely be leveraging in this way.
Hey, Deanna, so I saw something like an acronym. Basically, it was called RISE, RISE, and that stood for Role, Input, Steps, Expectation. So starting with, similar to what you were just saying, act as an experienced social media marketer with real estate experience. Then the input, you want to put in some specifics, whether it's, the audience or who you're trying to target. Then the third one for the steps, you're looking for specifics as far as what you wanted to do, right? And then the last one is the expectation. What are you trying to get out of it? So I found that interesting, just using that acronym RISE, because sometimes people don't even know where to start. They don't even know what to type. They don't know, where to go or even how to go about it. But I think if you use something like that, where you're giving it specific instructions, you're telling it who you want it to be, but sometimes more importantly, who you don't want it to be. Like, don't do this or do this. This is what I'm trying to accomplish. So I think, I think like a good analogy was you're basically you have a untrained assistant that doesn't know anything, right? And you're basically giving it specific instructions as to what you're expecting out of it, what you want it to do for you. So I think that's kind of like a good way to look at it.
Definitely. And one of the things that I have to say I really love about it is how intelligent it is, regardless of how organized you are in getting that information together. So you might be looking at RISE. That's a great acronym. That's a great sort of way to help you remember. that you might be sort of jumbled in your thoughts in the way that you put them into the prompt. But as long as you're getting the detail in there, it doesn't have to be pretty. It's not going out to the public. This is just conversational, if you will, between you and the platform. So just get all those details in there and then just, sit back and watch and see what the result is, because the result, regardless of how sort of maybe disjointed you might have felt your prompt was, as long as the details in there, you're good.
Yeah.
The output is what's going to be organized, reflective, and sort of in outline form. It'll make sense, which I think is so cool.
Got it.
Excuse me. Another thing that I thought would be fun was, okay, so we took a look at, leveling up on your property marketing. We took a look at business planning. What if we took a look at some general business activities for 2025? I know a lot of people like to door knock, or they like to do something called pop buys. So I created a prompt. Let's go back up to the top. Here's our prompt. This is having some fun. I'm a real estate agent. So there you go, Gene. There's my role.
Yep.
That likes to do pop buys each month where I knock on doors of 25 of my clients and contacts. And I hand out a small gift with my business card, craft a plan that outlines a different theme for each month. So I'm giving it a time frame that ties to, and I picked health and wellness. You can pick home improvement. You can pick the holiday of the month, whatever, insert here. So a different theme for each month that ties into health and wellness and includes a pop by gift of $5 or less per contact. And I'm telling ChatGPT, this is my budget. Don't go over $1,500 for the year. And literally 60 seconds or less. Here we go. Every month of the year. So January, here's your gift. Give out resistance bands. The cost, you can get them for $4 a piece. And the message that goes with your card, start the year strong. Here's to a healthy and active 2025.
Wait, I'm sorry, Deanna, to cut you off real quick. Go back up to
Yeah.
the resistant bands for a second. I'm just curious. In your prompts, if you also put, and also give me a link and tell me where to buy them.
Well, you
Right?
could ask it that question right now. You could
Let's go
say,
right now.
yeah, you could just say now, oh, where do I buy the resistant bands? And it'll answer you like you're having a conversation.
Right. Or give me a link for each, pop by gift and where to buy it.
So where I can go to buy these items at these prices. Let's see what we get.
That's insane, right?
Okay, so this is perfect. So it can't guide me in real time. So remember I said at the beginning, I know that there's a gap in information. No version of ChatGPT is 100% real time, like in the moment. But the gap between what it can search is a lot closer to current in this paid version. So to that point, it won't give me the link, but it is giving me places to go where it has been able to identify these items at these prices. So that's great.
Yeah.
But I think it's incredible that you don't even have to think through these things. I would have spent 3 hours just trying to figure out these themes before ChatGPT. So February, to go and get, heart-shaped stress balls. And then based on our prompt, it's telling me to go to Oriental Trading Company, which I will do after this. Take care of your heart. So great ideas that, again, as if you had a marketing genius sitting next to you. Now all you need is ChatGPT.
That's awesome. That's really, really cool. Wait, what's the one below there? Pocket-sized eucalyptus scented tissues.
Breathe easy.
That
Well,
is funny.
let's try one other thing. Let's say I don't like the health and wellness theme. Hi, is somebody there?
We like the food theme.
Oh, food. I was going to do a home improvement theme.
Oh, that works too.
Let's do a home improvement. Whoops, theme. Oh, I misspelled theme and it already figured out what I was getting at.
Start this year with a fresh home. This cleaning cloth will make tidying up a breeze. Fix those
A
little
mini
things
toolkit.
around your house. Yeah, every home needs a trusty tool on hand. A mini toolkit, $5 each.
So the thing is, look how quickly we were able to get, these ideas. And even if this is not where you land, and even if you don't love every single thing or piece of feedback that you're getting, the idea that it's going to jumpstart your own brainstorming process, that's a real benefit. So have some fun with it. Think of the things, think of the group that you're trying to target. Think of a theme that might make sense. If you are, maybe you're at the ball field every weekend with your kids. I've been there for like a lot of years now. So maybe you think about things to have in the back of your car for wherever you are doing with your kids that you can hand out 20 or 25 of those every weekend. So just have fun and leverage the parts of your life that you're already doing day to day and turn it into an opportunity to market yourself through ChatGPT.
That's awesome.
Another one that I thought would be fun. Let's say that one of the things that you wanted to do for 2025 was event planning, but you weren't sure where to start. So let's take a look at this prompt. Create an agenda for a 30-minute home seller webinar to be hosted by a real estate agent. So again, I'm telling ChatGPT, who the host is, to educate potential home sellers on the state of the market and the home selling process in today's environment. I'm also giving additional detail that I'm looking for a virtual format, which I might get a different result than if I said it was going to be an in-person event. And I also wanted to make sure that there was time for question and answer, but I didn't want to take away from the 30-minute presentation. And I also asked it to give me prompts for visual aids. Okay. And so here I got 60 seconds or less, an outline for a 30-minute presentation with built-in 15-minute Q&A at the end. Recommended visual aids. So I could even go back now and expand on that and say, build me a 10-slide PowerPoint presentation that specifically addresses the points you've outlined here. Or I can modify it. Maybe there are points that I like or don't like, or maybe there's something that I had on my mind that AI didn't give me. So I can say, incorporate this point. Once it does that, then I can go back and tell it to give me the PowerPoint. So, and then even from there, once you have your outline and your PowerPoint, tell ChatGPT, give me a strategy to market this webinar to potential home sellers. So don't just stop at the first thing, continue to dive deeper and deeper and deeper and let it take you through the entire process to get you to the end result that you're looking for, ready to go with a 30-minute webinar. Anybody looking to host events in 2025 or leverage education in some way in your business plan for buyers or sellers in 2025 with the changing market? I'm curious about that.
I guess not.
I guess not. Well, maybe they weren't sure. Go ahead, Sarah. I see it. Yes. If you weren't sure or didn't know where to start, we've just given you a solution for that. So you've got to get into AI.
You could even talk to, ChatGPT and simply, let's just say you're trying to even organize what, like you said, whether it's an educational event or you want help organizing, I don't know, a client appreciation party, whatever it is. It could be anything.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we can even play around with that a little bit. The last one that I wanted to show you is, I think you can do more and more of this with the free version, and you don't need those plugins that I mentioned before to do it, where ChatGPT can take information in visual form and help you interpret it and give recommendations on it. So what about trying to stage a room or get feedback from ChatGPT? I will tell you, I've tried to find one of the ugliest pictures I could on the internet of an ugly room. So, and listen, this room might have tremendous appeal, especially with the princess border, but look at the pink, orange, you see the princess, you see the yellow in the background, then you layer in the carpet. It could be a very hard room for your, typical buyer to envision as home, right? So here I am, prompt. I gave the photo. I'm attaching the photo in my prompt. I'm a real estate agent with a listing for sale. One of the rooms in the home is very unappealing. How would you suggest staging? But notice what I'm telling Chat GPT is that we can't change the carpet or paint the walls. So don't just give me the sort of standard feedback. Give me something with meat on the bones. So it came back with specific information about how we might counterbalance the crazy pattern. Like if you go back and look at that picture again, I mean, you can see it a little bit better here. That so the crazy sort of pattern in the rug, all of the color on the walls, what are some ways that we can counterbalance that? But then look what happened here at the end of the prompt. It said, would you like help visualizing a potential staging setup for this room? And generate a mock-up. And me, yes, please, as if it knew that I said please. I find myself doing that sometimes. But it gave a mock-up of a room. Now, obviously, this mock-up doesn't look a whole lot like that first picture, but the idea here is that it's helping to drive home the points that it was making up above about neutralizing the space, bring in a neutral colored area rug to sort of tone down what's happening on the carpet below your feet.
So when I do a listing now, if I have a basement that's unfinished or I have a room that looks like that or something like that, I take the photos that my photographer takes and I send them out to Box Brownie. If anybody's used that before, and Box Brownie is a site where I can put in this information, but you pay for it, right? And you can get a little bit detailed, say, I want these with white walls. I want to show carpet. I want to show this. And, maybe it costs you $40-$50 per photo, to get something like that done. It takes 2-3 days. This is so much easier, right? You just take the picture that you got, put it in here and say, I don't know, I want the pink walls to be white and I want the yellow walls to be red. And I want carpet instead of hardwood. And then it'll do it. Right. So, and then I show that in my listing. This is what it looks like. The basement looks like unfinished. This is what it looks like finished. So you guys can get an idea, stuff like that. So
it's just incredible what technology can do to help a buyer get closer to seeing that property as home.
Yeah. And it's just timing too. Like everything, it just sets you apart from other people. Right. I don't know. It's amazing to me how a lot of people list homes and they don't put floor plans in the house. They don't do things like go the extra mile. And when they know they have a room that's difficult to envision or whatever it is, they don't do something like this, like what Deanna's showing. It's amazing that, you're getting paid a lot of money to sell these houses and you need to stand apart. Now it's making ChatGPT is making life so much easier. There's zero excuse because there's no financial component to this. Maybe the worst case scenario, it's maybe $20 a month, which look, at the end of the day, if you can't spend $250 a year on something like this, then what are you doing? Right. It's going to make your life easier. It's going to make you look so much more professional. It's going to make you stand out versus others. And it does things efficiently. And once you get used to using it, I'm telling you, you'll use it for everything, not just real estate. It's incredible. Whether it's like you're writing an email to an attorney or you're trying to respond, or you have to write a letter to a kid's school, like whatever it is, there's so many different times that I've used this to help me gather thoughts that I was struggling on. And you just put the little bit of information in there and then boom. And then you tweak it until you get it right, until you get what you want. It's awesome. I mean,
it's incredible.
It's an absolute must.
The technology is, I mentioned, I was talking to a group last week and I said, my teenage son used AI he had notes of his own from a class. He had notes from his professor and he had PowerPoint slides. And he was able to take all three of those sources, load them into ChatGPT and say, give me one consolidated set of study notes. And then he took it one step further and said, give me a 50-question quiz based on these consolidated notes. So now, again, imagine the amount of time it would have taken him to first consolidate the study tools, but then to draft the test so that he could start preparing to get ready for whatever the professor was going to put in front of him in a couple of days. I mean, the time saver there and the preparation is so totally, to your point, Christian, totally levels up your preparation.
Oh, yeah.
In ways that you couldn't even, look at that, the webinar. I think most agents would have looked at the idea of a webinar for home sellers and said, I don't even know where to start. Well, boom, there you go. You've
Hey,
got a whole
Deanna,
outline.
if you open
Yeah,
up a new window real quick and
let's
just
do it.
go to getfloorplan.com.
Oh, a new,
Yeah. So this right here, so if you're doing a listing and if your photographer, let's just say, is already, I don't know, sometimes photographers charge extra, right, for floor plans. This one is $17.50 per floor plan. But what they do is they create a 2D to a 3D model for floor plans, and it's 1750 each. So you basically, I mean, it's pretty wild. So this is another, AI tool that agents can use. Like look at that 3D friggin' floor plan. That's pretty wild.
that's really cool.
Yeah. Yep.
I love the technology. And I think the thing that you have to keep in mind too is that as we continue to see new generations of home buyers coming into the market, they are so predisposed to technology that if it's not an active component of your business, that could really sort of hurt you in the ways that you're able to connect and communicate and sort of find common ground with those potential clients. So these are great ways that you can leverage technology and build relevance into your business for sure.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
does anybody want to try? Or are you struggling with something or want to test out Chat GPT and on the fly we can see what we get?
Bueller?
There's
Bueller?
got to be somebody who wants to test it out. Come on.
Bueller? Does anybody even know the reference of Bueller? Oh my goodness.
Let me see. I'm trying to see some of the things that I've put in here before. But you can get super specific. You can create checklists. Maybe you want to build, let's try that. Let's say I am a real estate agent and want to create a checklist for all of my home sellers to help them prepare their house for market. Then let's say limit it to 15 items or less. I don't want it to feel overwhelming. And make it relatable to all home types. So I tried to be specific. Remember, when we're building that prompt. So here we go. I just love how fast it is. So you can take this information and then if you're like me and you have a $20 a month version of Canva, you can go and put this into a marketing piece. Literally, find a template, find a design that you like, and just swap out the bullet points with these. And here you go. All of the things that you want to kind of have on a seller's radar. Now, if you're in a specific community type, like maybe if you're in a condo community or if you're in an active adult community, then maybe you tailor that checklist to be very specifically targeting, that audience. But maybe another thing is I've talked to people about how great it is to go to yard sales. If you don't like door knocking, scoping out yard sales in and around your community or your farm area can be a great way to talk to people without ever having to approach the front door. And I can tell you, I've been talking about this for a while, but I actually participated in a yard sale in my own community a couple of weeks ago, mostly because the idea of my kids selling their stuff for money helped me declutter my house. It got them up early. It got the junk out in the driveway. I see it as junk. They don't. And apparently a lot of other people didn't either. But the point is that in 2 days, sitting in my driveway for a couple of hours each morning, I had 2 different people come through and offer their services. I had a woman offer cleaning services, home cleaning, and I had somebody trying to see if I had gold in the house that I wanted to pawn. So, but the idea is that other people are doing it too. You're a captive audience. You're there in your driveway and you're decluttering for a reason, right? I'm thinking about selling my house in a year or two. So my mind is kind of already there. So maybe you create a marketing piece that specifically targets, conversation starters with sellers who are hosting or participating in a yard sale. Again,
Or
you're gonna get results.
I was gonna say, or Deanna, you can utilize the same thing, create a new prompt and say, I would like to create a, wait, hang on. Who's, oh, shit, I think I just muted, Christian, I think I just muted you by accident. I actually muted the wrong person. Hold on a second. Oh, Deanna, what I was saying is you can take the same thing and let's just say you want to, you need ideas. You know what it is? Like some people, we all know video, right? Video is here to stay. Video is the future. But, maybe instead of creating a static piece like this, for a home seller prep checklist, you can take this exact same thing and say, can you create a, 12 or 8 or 10 video ideas for, for a home seller, preparing their home to sell. And then you can take this information and create videos. Now, I know that there's stuff out there, okay, that you can even take this. I don't know the name of the AI app, but I know 100% that it exists. Christian, are you getting a suntan right now?
I am outside. Yeah, I am getting the suntan. Now the sun's coming the other way.
So Indiana, you can take this, right, and put it into another like AI bot kind of feature app where you can select a person that maybe looks like you or somebody similar like you that will also sound like you that will actually talk on the video as you, which is completely insane, right?
It is insane. And I have actually seen that. And you know where I am seeing it a lot? I saw it once in demonstration for a real estate agent, but I'm starting to see it a lot. Like if you tune into the news and stuff with people saying that there are videos out there portraying them, that's not really them. Especially like the Hollywood types and the high profile people. So it's incredible how real and close to life the technology
Oh, you know what?
is.
I think I know what you're talking about. I saw, wasn't it Tom Hanks that came out and said there's a video going around of me that's not me or something?
I think there's a bunch of people. Like
Yeah,
I
there's a
know
lot.
I've heard multiple, right? Yeah.
It's
Okay, so
crazy.
to your point, Gene,
Yeah,
exactly
look.
to your point, I took this 15-point list. I said I gave kudos, right? Now I wanted to convert each of those 15 into a script for a 30-second video that I can post on social media to help sellers. And I wanted a catchy theme. And remember, I'm a real estate agent. So here we go. It gave me a theme, ready, set, sold. And now it's given me a script for all 15 of those bullet points that I can turn around and record on social media and push out on my social channels.
But what I'm saying
So
is like something like this, number one, took you like 30 seconds to put together. It's already telling you what to talk about, so you can literally take 10 fit now you have now 10, 15 videos that you can literally take 30 seconds. You don't need fancy equipment. You're literally taking your phone, you're turning it around, hey, it's Gene with eXp Realty. Today we're talking about, getting your home ready for sale. Let's talk about, our first thing is, decluttering. Here's why it's important. Here's what you want to do. 30, 45 seconds, done, post it. The other thing is also, I know that we're not, this is not like a video, session, but forget about it being like clean and polished and you don't have to re-record it 17 times. People like when you look natural or even make mistakes, they don't, not everybody, in fact, I'm even hearing more and more that super crazy clean polished videos with all of the, captions and all that stuff is actually getting less traction than now people that are just putting up just like raw video that is more authentic, and just putting it out there. So I don't know, maybe that'll inspire somebody to and if you do make any of these videos, tag us on your social media.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Yeah,
There's
and
an underlying, oh yeah, go ahead.
sorry, what are the video apps that you've used that you like? You mentioned that you have some that you like.
Yes, so I personally don't do a whole lot of video, but I have a couple of people on my team who love video in social media. And so they've done some training for us with CapCut is one. And then hold on, I'm gonna get you another one.
How do you spell that?
I
Oh,
think it's
CAPCUT.
there's another one.
And I think
I'll
there's
get
there's a free and a paid version for that as well.
Okay.
But also,
There.
just so you know, Jen and everybody, if you you know if you're putting up video, if you're using Instagram, just what I know is you can also edit it and clip it up through the Instagram app. They actually push your stuff out more when you use their platform to, edit, to add audio. So if you're doing it directly on Instagram, like for example, if you made a video on TikTok and then you put it on Instagram, you're going to get like 90% less reach versus if you actually did it all directly through Instagram, edited it, added the audio, and put it out through there. So
I definitely have done more in the stuff that I've actually done myself on Instagram. The other one besides CapCut is another one is called Video Leap. And it's like all one word, Video LEAP, Leap. It's an app. And I think they're same thing. I think there's a free version and a paid version. But you can really, here you go. Like all you have to do is leverage ChatGPT to have the prompts and then just get to work on actually recording the video. And to your point, Jean, I think a lot has changed in our world and we are getting a lot closer to the Jetsons. Underlying is still the same. People will be attracted to personalities that they come to know, like, and trust. So the more authentic you are in your video, the more unscripted, the more real, then the more relatable you're going to feel to the viewer. And I think that translates. So take advantage of this content. Don't overthink it in how perfect it needs to be before you share it.
And also what I just thought about, you see this whole list right here for the home seller preparation checklist. If you are, whether you want to type it, and post it into your social media, or, if you're good with recording a quick video, in your video, you can also say, let's just say you're talking about freshening, paint or maximizing lighting, or you're talking about checking your HVAC and utilities. That's also an opportunity where you can even tell the audience or anybody who's watching that you actually have a whole bunch of resources that if they needed help with any of these items, that you have a list of vendors that you can also recommend to them to get estimates. You want to be a resource, obviously to your clients or to whoever you're communicating with, not just so they're watching, but also taking action. And if they need something, you want them to reach out to you.
Building off of what you're talking about, Jean.
Yep.
I want to build a marketing plan that highlights. I'm going to go with the home improvement theme. For each month, I want an email that discusses I want a script for a 30-second social media video. And I want 3 suggestions for 4 or 5-star vendors in my market who I might partner with to strategize who I partner with to co-market our services and identify new clients. Let's see what we get. So recognizing in the back of my mind, I'm not sure how like fine tune this will be because it's not in real time. We did already sort of get that message. But exactly to your point, Jean, like what I might do to pull in local business partners. So it's giving me, it actually did, it came up with some suggestions. So based on me saying, go find vendors that
That's
I
awesome.
might be able to partner with. So it's giving me the theme. It's giving me what my social media theme might be, my script might be. And then it's giving me vendor suggestions. And I can certainly go back. Remember, you don't have to stop here. Drill it down, dig deeper. If you wanted the actual email content, then go back and tell ChatGPT, I want you to draft the email for each month, limit it to 75 words. I want you to give me the social media script written out, 30 seconds or less, and you'll get that information right back at you that you can turn around and just focus on implementation, focus on the doing as opposed to the creating.
But this is also an opportunity for you to reach out to local businesses. Like you may not reach out to, Renewal by Andersen, but maybe you reach out to a local window company. Maybe you reach out to a local roofing company or somebody that does, clean outs. Like right there, April, you have spring cleaning, right? Declutter and organize. Maybe you don't call 1-800-GOT-JUNK, but maybe you call somebody local who, that does the same type of business and you speak to them. But this is all about conversations and establishing and starting relationships that can go further. Your first conversation is not, hey, I'm going to be doing some video, do you want to throw me some money and I'll mention your name? No, it's about, I'm putting a list of local businesses and vendors together that I can refer business to, and we can work together with each other because, well, if somebody calls a company to clean out their, garage or basement or get rid of junk, Deanna, you mentioned, right? You're going to be moving in a year and you're starting to plan and think about things now. Well, if you have this conversation with a local company and you mention them and you help promote them, then a lot of times they're also the first one to know when somebody's actually interested in doing something where now they might be more inclined to mention, you know what, hey, just in case, you ever decide to, sell your home in the future, I work with an amazing real estate agent, that's local. If you need a recommendation, let me know. That's kind of how it goes.
Absolutely. And there's really no end to the way that you can leverage this. Maybe you don't want to go by theme in this way, where it's maybe around home improvement, or we did health and wellness before, but maybe instead you want to approach it that every month over the course of 2025, you might highlight a different town in your county or a different development in the town where you reside, or a different school. If you have a lot of schools, elementary, middle, high schools, or a different civic organization in your town, you can do so many things, and you can leverage ChatGPT to say, okay, I want to highlight a different town in my county every month in 2025. And I want you to come up with a strategy that includes email, video, and text messages, or email, video, and vendor partnerships, or whatever the case may be. But let ChatGPT spit back out to you the ideas and the thoughts that you might be struggling to get on paper. And I like going back to your food idea too, Jean, that food can be another fun way to incorporate and captivate audiences, because maybe not everybody's immediately looking to buy or sell a house to find your video relatable, but everybody needs to eat. So there's ways to get people's attention now so that they'll think of you later.
Christian, remind everybody what's going on this Thursday.
Momentum 2024. It's we have a lot of great speakers coming. One coming from Hawaii, one coming from California. Both are the leading brokerages or leading team leaders out in those respective states, and And then we have a panel of speakers, and everybody, it's just going to be an open, pretty much an open, I don't know, an open, how do you want to say? Everybody's going to basically give you guys their recipes for success. These are all really, really successful people. They're going to open up their playbook to everybody. I think it's going to be an awesome event. I think everybody who goes is going to learn a lot and take home a lot of information on how these other teams do it, what their agents are doing, how they're being successful, whether it's in California, Hawaii. We have Lindsay Stevens coming from New York, runs a really, really awesome team out in New York. She's also a coach. I just think it's going to be great. And I think that whether you're a $20 million a year producer or new in the business, you definitely have to be there. I think it's going to be really
100%.
gonna be
And it's this Thursday from what, 12 to 4 in Red Bank, right?
12 to 4 at the Oyster Point. Yeah, it'll be brunch. We'll have brunch there. And yeah, yep, 12 to 4 at the Oyster Point. If you guys need any information, just hit me up, text me, email me. I can send you the link to register. But I would definitely make a point to go in if you can.
Are they still able to, so if they didn't register or get a ticket yet, I don't even know, can they pay at the door?
Just hit me up. If you didn't do it yet and you want to do it, just let me know, and then I'll figure out how to get it done now.
Yeah, I'll be there. Christian's actually Deanna and I were put on the back burner for the next one, but Christian's going to be on the panel, basically spilling his secrets and his blueprints, his success of how he sells $800 million a year in real estate.
Yeah, right. I wish.
Yeah. What else, Deanna? Anything else we want to plug or announce? We got like 2 minutes.
I do know that we have, for those of you who are thinking like way ahead, we have Triple Play coming up. I don't know how many people might be interested in Triple Play in December. I know we're also hoping to maybe get a social event on the calendar for our Leaders Edge people before the end of the year. And then we're also trying to work with a big co-sponsor of ours to put together a great speaker in more of the central and southern New Jersey markets in early 2025. So I think there's some really cool things coming ahead. We're looking to continue, I think, to bring new voices and fresh ideas to you and your business. So keep an eye out for them. And we'll use
Absolutely.
ChatGPT to help inspire us.
Yeah. Hopefully you guys learned some new stuff today, put some stuff into action. Even if you just take one thing, if you can take one thing and just put it into action, it's going to be better than obviously not doing anything at all. We've all been to events, even when you guys come on Thursday, if you're able to be there, I really think you're going to get a ton of information out of it. But whether it's from this session today talking about AI or something that you can pick up on Thursday, just implement one thing. Start with one thing, because we all get overwhelmed. We've all been to so many events and seminars, and we, have 15 pages of notes, and then we get home and the next day those notes are sitting somewhere in a drawer or in a bag, and then they're not looked at again. But just try to implement at least one thing and you'll be glad that you did it. So thank you guys for tuning in, being with us. Hope you got some good value out of today, and we will hopefully see some of you guys on Thursday. If not, we'll be on again next Tuesday in a week. All right. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll talk to you guys soon.
Thanks, guys. Go have
Thanks,
some
guys.
fun.
Hopefully I'll see all you guys Thursday.
Yep. I'll
Take
be
care,
there.
guys.
Bye.